Hello, today I will share with you the best of Stoic philosophy. I know you probably use this video to fall asleep, so before starting, like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also comment, where are you from and at what time are you watching? Now get comfortable and relax. Every single day, we're faced with moments that test our patience and rattle our calm. Whether it's a traffic jam when you're already late, a co-worker's irritating habits, or your phone battery dying in the middle of an important call, life seems full of these little battles. It's not just about these minor irritations, though. It's about how we respond to them that shapes our days and, ultimately, our lives. It's important to remember that everyone feels angry sometimes. It's part of being human. But here's where Stoicism steps in with its profound wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. This is pivotal in transforming our relationship with anger. Think about it. When something goes wrong or someone frustrates us, our first instinct might be to react with anger. But what if, instead, we paused and considered this reaction? Stoicism encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, understanding, and resilience. By acknowledging anger as a natural emotion, we set the stage for learning how to handle it more effectively. The Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius often discuss the concept of not being swayed by external events, but instead focusing on our internal responses. They believe that our emotions, including anger, come from our judgments about events, not the events themselves. So, when we feel angry, it's often because we're placing a particular value or judgment on what's happened. This understanding opens up a powerful opportunity for us. Each time we feel anger rising, we can ask ourselves, what judgment am I making about this situation? Is there another way to view it? This is not about suppressing or denying your anger. It's about understanding it. By getting to the root of what triggers our anger, we can start to change our responses. For instance, if you get cut off in traffic and feel the anger bubbling up, recognize this as a chance to examine why you react this way. Is it really the action of the other driver, or is it your belief that your route should be obstacle-free? Moreover, acknowledging anger helps us empathize with others who might also struggle with their emotions. This empathy can deepen our connections and improve our interactions. It's about compassion, both for ourselves and for others, as we navigate the complexities of human emotions. This idea is at the heart of Stoic philosophy and is incredibly liberating once you truly grasp it. Think about it. So much of our frustration and anger stems from situations or people we simply can't change, no matter how much we might want to. The Stoics, like the wise Marcus Aurelius, taught that the real power lies in recognizing the difference between what we can control and what we can't. You control your thoughts, your decisions, and your actions. That's it. Everything else is more or less out of your hands. Other people's actions, the weather, the past, and much of the future. But here's where it gets interesting. By focusing on our own reactions and attitudes, we reclaim a tremendous amount of power. Instead of wasting energy on the uncontrollable, we invest it in what we can actually influence. Let's make it practical. Say you're working on a group project and someone isn't pulling their weight. It's easy to get frustrated, right? You might even feel your temper rising, but ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually control? You can't make your teammate work harder, but you can control how you respond to the challenge. Maybe it's a conversation about expectations, or perhaps it's reallocating work within the group. By shifting your focus like this, you not only reduce your own stress, but also open up more constructive ways to address the problem. Another aspect of this Stoic principle is accepting that some things are just beyond our control. This acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding where our power truly lies. It's about not letting external events dictate your peace of mind. For instance, if you're stuck in traffic and getting irritated because you're going to be late, pause and think, can I control the traffic? No. But what can you control? Your reaction. Maybe you turn on an audiobook or some calming music, or use the time to think through your day. The beauty of focusing on what you can control is that it gradually builds a stronger, more resilient mindset. Over time, you'll find yourself less shaken by life's ups and downs because you know where your responsibilities lie and where they don't. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, but about channeling your energies more productively. It's about being fully present in the moment, aware of where we are and what we're doing, without being overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. This aligns beautifully with Stoic teachings, which emphasize awareness of our thoughts and actions and maintaining control over our reactions to external circumstances. So why practice mindfulness? Because it helps us to pause between our experiences and our reactions to them. By becoming more mindful, we can choose responses that align with our values and goals instead of getting swept away by emotions. For example, when someone says something that upsets you, instead of immediately reacting or snapping back, mindfulness allows you to take a step back. You notice your emotional surge, but choose to observe it passively, without acting on it immediately. This space that mindfulness creates is not just calming, it's empowering. It gives you the chance to choose a response that you won't regret later. Let's talk about how to incorporate mindfulness into daily life, because it sounds great in theory, but it's in the practice that the real magic happens. One simple technique is to focus on your breathing. When you find yourself feeling anxious or angry, take a moment to concentrate on deep, slow breaths. This focus pulls your mind away from the triggers of stress or anger and brings you back to what you can control: your breath. Another practical method is what I like to call mindful observation. Choose an ordinary task or moment, like drinking a cup of coffee. Focus all your senses on this experience. Notice the aroma, the heat of the cup in your hands, the taste. This practice of engaging fully with the present moment can transform an ordinary experience into a richer, more textured moment. What's fascinating about this is that it trains your brain to apply the same level of awareness to more challenging situations. When anger or frustration arises, you'll be better equipped to handle it with the same focus and calm. Stoicism also teaches us about the impermanence of our experiences. Nothing lasts forever, not even our emotions. Mindfulness complements this by helping us to experience our feelings without judgment. Acknowledge that you're angry, recognize it, but also remind yourself that this anger is just a passing state. It's not who you are, and it doesn't control you, unless you let it. The idea that everything changes and nothing lasts forever is a universal truth that can help us navigate life's ups and downs with more grace and less frustration. It's about understanding that our circumstances, emotions, and even our thoughts are constantly in flux, and learning to embrace this constant state of change rather than resisting it. Think about how often we get upset because things didn't go as planned. Maybe it was a job promotion that didn't come through, a relationship that ended unexpectedly, or a sudden change in our health. Our first reaction might be to resist these changes, to get angry or sad. But Stoicism invites us to look at these situations differently, through the lens of impermanence. When we truly grasp that nothing is permanent, we start to realize that our anger or disappointment is also temporary. This doesn't diminish the importance of our feelings, but gives us a more balanced perspective on them. Embracing impermanence allows us to live more in the present and worry less about the past and the future. If you know that everything is temporary, you begin to appreciate your experiences and the people around you more deeply. You don't take things for granted because you're aware that circumstances can change at any moment. This awareness can be incredibly freeing. It reduces the sting of negative events and enhances the joy of positive ones. Now, how do we practice accepting impermanence in daily life? Start by reflecting on the transient nature of your surroundings and experiences. For example, watch how the seasons change. Observe how your feelings shift throughout the day, or how your relationships evolve over time. These observations can be reminders that change is the only constant. Another way to integrate this into your life is by adjusting how you respond to disruptions or unexpected changes. Instead of reacting with frustration when something doesn't go your way, take a moment to acknowledge that this change is part of a bigger flow of life. It's an opportunity to adapt and grow. Think about a time when something didn't work out as you had hoped, and then something better came along. Often, it's only in hindsight that we see how these changes were beneficial. Stoicism doesn't just ask us to accept impermanence, it encourages us to find strength in it. Each change and ending is a chance to practice resilience and flexibility. By fostering this mindset, we not only cope with life's challenges more effectively, but also learn to move through them with a sense of peace and anticipation for what's next. The Stoics believe that becoming aware of the root causes of our emotions could lead to greater self-mastery. When we understand our emotions, we are better equipped to respond to life's challenges in ways that are aligned with our values and goals, rather than simply reacting out of habit or impulse. Every emotion we experience, whether it's anger, joy, sadness, or fear, is triggered by our perception. For example, if you feel angry when someone interrupts you while speaking, it's worth exploring why. Is it because you feel disrespected? Or perhaps it reflects a deeper insecurity about your voice being heard. By digging into these questions, you can begin to understand not just your reactions, but also the beliefs and values that underlie them. This understanding is crucial because it gives you the opportunity to change your perceptions and consequently the way you feel. Stoicism teaches us that our emotions are predicated on our judgments. The good news is that judgments can be examined and changed. So when you feel a strong emotion, try to step back and ask yourself, what am I believing right now? Is this belief true? Is it helpful? This kind of questioning can be very powerful. It allows you to shift your perspective and choose a different emotional response, one that serves you better. For instance, if you're feeling anxious about a work presentation, it might be because you believe that you must perform perfectly in order to be respected. But is this really true? Likely, your colleagues value your effort and sincerity more than perfection. Recognizing this can alleviate some of your anxiety and help you approach the situation with more calmness and confidence. Practically speaking, journaling can be an incredibly effective tool for understanding your emotions. By writing down what you feel and exploring why you feel it, you can uncover patterns and triggers that you might not be aware of otherwise. This reflection not only helps in the moment, but also builds a sort of emotional intelligence over time that can make you more resilient and adaptable. Another approach is to discuss your feelings with someone you trust, a friend, a family member, or a mentor. Speaking about your emotions can provide new insights and perspectives that you might not have considered. It's often through dialogue that we come to new understandings about ourselves and our relationships. Embracing the Stoic approach to emotions isn't about suppressing what you feel. On the contrary, it's about engaging with your emotions in a proactive and reflective way. It's about taking control of the narrative of your inner life. By understanding your emotions, you're not just reacting to the world, you're actively shaping your experience of it. Stoicism teaches us the value of patience, not just as a way to endure, but as a method to transform our experiences. Patience, according to Stoic philosophy, isn't just about waiting, it's about how we behave while we wait. It's about maintaining our composure and dignity in the face of life's delays and challenges, understanding that these are often outside our control. In our daily lives, we encounter countless situations that can trigger impatience, from a slow-moving line at the grocery store to a traffic jam or a delayed response from a colleague. Our first instinct might be to feel irritated or stressed, but here's where Stoicism comes into play. It encourages us to see these moments as opportunities to practice virtue. Every instance of delay is a chance to exercise patience, to reinforce our ability to stay calm and collected. So, how can we develop patience in practical terms? One effective approach is to adjust our expectations. Often, our impatience stems from a mismatch between our expectations and reality. If we start by acknowledging that delays and obstacles are natural parts of life, we're less likely to get upset when they occur. This doesn't mean lowering our standards, but rather aligning our expectations with the fact that the world won't always operate according to our preferences. Another key method is to use the moments of waiting as opportunities for growth and reflection. If you're stuck in traffic, instead of fuming over the delay, you can turn it into valuable time, listening to an audiobook, practice deep breathing, or simply reflect on your day. This shift in perspective turns a frustrating situation into a productive or relaxing one. Practicing mindfulness is also a powerful ally in developing patience. By being present in the moment and fully engaging with it, we can distance ourselves from the feelings of urgency and restlessness that often accompany waiting. Mindfulness helps us cultivate a peaceful state of mind that buffers us against the stirrings of impatience. Stoicism not only advocates for patience, but also for understanding the impermanence of our current state. Remembering that this too shall pass can help us endure unpleasant situations, whether it's waiting for a delayed flight or enduring a long recovery from an illness. The knowledge that it is temporary makes it more bearable. Finally, celebrating small victories is crucial in developing patience. When you manage to stay calm during a situation that would normally make you impatient, acknowledge and reward yourself for this achievement. This reinforces the behavior and makes it more likely to become a habit. This is one of those transformative experiences that not only changes the way we relate to others, but also profoundly affects our inner peace. Forgiveness in the Stoic sense is not about condoning wrongdoings or forgetting the harm done. It's about freeing ourselves from the emotional burden that comes from carrying grudges. Forgiveness requires a strong sense of self-awareness and control over one's emotions, qualities that Stoics strive to develop. It involves recognizing that our anger and hurt, while natural and valid responses to perceived injustices, are ultimately within our control. This doesn't mean that the process is simple or immediate. Forgiveness can be challenging. It often requires a deliberate, concerted effort to let go of deep-seated feelings of injustice. Consider the power that comes from deciding not to allow someone else's actions to disturb your inner tranquility. This is the essence of Stoic forgiveness. It's about making a conscious choice to not let past actions continually affect your present state of mind. This decision helps you reclaim your emotional energy and focus it on more constructive pursuits that align with your values and goals. Now, how do we start practicing forgiveness in everyday life? It begins with the recognition that all humans are fallible, ourselves included. We all make mistakes, sometimes out of ignorance, sometimes out of malice. Reflecting on our own shortcomings can help us develop empathy towards others, making it easier to forgive. Another Stoic practice is to consider the bigger picture. Often, the things we hold on to are not as significant in the grand scheme of our lives. By focusing on our long-term well-being, which is bolstered by peace and harmony, the immediate sting of grievances can be mitigated. Practicing forgiveness also involves actively reframing our narratives. Instead of viewing yourself as a victim, which can perpetuate feelings of anger and helplessness, try to see yourself as a survivor, or even a hero of your story, one who has overcome challenges and emerged stronger. This shift in perspective not only facilitates forgiveness, but also empowers you in your life's journey. Moreover, engaging in meditation or mindfulness exercises can assist in the process. These practices help calm the mind and provide the space needed to process emotions more rationally and less reactively. As you sit quietly and focus on your breath, allow thoughts of forgiveness to enter your mind. Picture those you feel have wronged you and imagine sending them thoughts of goodwill. This doesn't mean you accept the wrong, but you are choosing to release its hold over you. Finally, it's important to understand that forgiveness is a process, sometimes a lengthy one. It doesn't happen all at once, and that's perfectly okay. Each step towards forgiveness, no matter how small, is a step towards a freer, more emotionally balanced life. At its essence, self-retrobe allows us to pause before reacting, giving us the time to consider whether our impulses align with our long-term goals. For instance, if you're trying to lead a healthier lifestyle, self-retrobe is what helps you choose not to eat that late-night junk food. In emotional situations, self-retrobe helps you hold back a harsh word or an angry reply, preserving relationships and maintaining peace of mind. How can we strengthen this essential skill? One effective Stoic practice is to regularly reflect on our actions and their consequences. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes each evening to think about the choices you made throughout the day. Were there moments when you lacked self-control? What triggered it? Understanding these patterns is the first step towards managing them. Another powerful technique is to set clear personal rules for behavior based on your values. Stoicism teaches us that living according to rational principles is key to a good life. By setting and following your own rules, for example, not checking your phone during meals or limiting time spent on social media, you exercise self-control in ways that directly improve your daily life and well-being. Visualization is another tool that can be incredibly helpful. Before entering a situation where you know you might be tempted to act impulsively, take a moment to visualize yourself handling the situation with calm and restraint. Imagine the satisfaction you'll feel from acting in accordance with your principles. This mental rehearsal can make it much easier to keep your cool in the heat of the moment. It's also beneficial to gradually increase your tolerance for discomfort, which is a big part of what self-control is all about. The Stoics believe that by voluntarily exposing ourselves to discomfort, whether it's cold showers, fasting, or resisting urges, we can strengthen our willpower. These practices teach us that we can endure discomfort and that it's often not as bad as we fear. This realization directly feeds into our ability to exercise self-retreat in more complex emotional or social situations. Lastly, remember that practicing self-control is a journey, not a destination. There will be times when you falter. That's just part of being human. What matters is that you recognize these moments, learn from them, and continue to strive for improvement. Each act of self-control, no matter how small, is a victory in its own right and a step towards becoming a wiser, more balanced person. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Are you familiar with the frustration of a mind cluttered with noise, the agony of indecision, or the paralysis by analysis that comes with overthinking? We've all been there. Replaying conversations, anticipating outcomes, and trying to solve an endless string of what-ifs in our heads. Today, we will tackle this challenge head-on with 10 practical strategies to conquer overthinking. If you're looking for ways to break this cycle and reclaim your mental space, make sure to hit the notification bell and subscribe. Now, let's dive in. 1. Visualize your overthinking as an external force. Overthinking can sneak up on you like fog rolling in on what was a clear day. It starts as a single worry or idea, but quickly expands until it can knock you off your feet. It's a common struggle in today's fast-pacing world, where information hits us like hail in a storm. Our minds get crowded with thoughts of what if, what next, what could have been. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher king, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This brings us to our first technique, seeing overthinking as an external force. This isn't about making an enemy out of your thoughts, but recognizing that these thoughts are not the core of who you are. They are invaders of your peace. Imagine those invasive thoughts as clouds passing over a mountain. You are that mountain, majestic and immovable, standing firm as the clouds drift by. Now, how does one fend off these invaders? Stoicism teaches us to observe without engagement. Imagine placing these thoughts in a bubble and watching them float away. This mental exercise doesn't just lessen their weight. It reinforces the understanding that thoughts are transient. They can only disrupt your peace if you hold on to them and give them power. Practicing this visualization creates a mental reflex that can help you detach and let these thoughts go before they build into a storm. As you get better at distinguishing yourself from this barrage of overthinking, it becomes simpler to see that you are not just a sum of your thoughts. This distinction acts as a shield, much like earplugs in a noisy crowd. It's a deliberate, continual effort that grows stronger with everyday application. When you notice yourself beginning to overthink, stop and picture the thought as noise, unnecessary and separate from who you are. By doing this, you're not only protecting yourself against overthinking, you're also taking back your mental territory and peace, one step at a time. 2. Take control by refocusing your energy. Have you ever caught yourself spiraling down a rabbit hole of what-ifs and doomsday scenarios, replaying the same worries over and over until you're mentally exhausted? It's like having a bunch of browser tabs open in your mind, each with a video playing on full blast, and you can't seem to hit pause. This mental multitasking is a hallmark of modern life, where the pressure to stay on top of everything can lead to a relentless cycle of overthinking. But, just like a cluttered desk, a cluttered mind needs tidying up. Redirecting your mental energy isn't just about mental peace. It's about taking back control and quieting the endless noise of what could be, so you can appreciate what is. Seneca, another Stoic sage, effortlessly wove wisdom into words when he said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." This sage advice serves as the cornerstone for taking control by refocusing your energy. To stop overthinking, start by grounding yourself in the now. Focus on a task, even something small, and channel your energy into completing it. This shift in focus pulls you out of the whirlpool of future what-ifs and anchors you in the present moment. The practical application is simple yet profound. Engage in an activity that requires your full attention. It could be as simple as organizing your workspace, going for a brisk walk, or losing yourself in a book. These acts require the now, not the tomorrow or the yesterday. By commanding your thoughts to align with your actions, you're not just distracting yourself, you're taking command of where your energy flows. Remember, Stoicism isn't about suppressing thoughts, it's about managing them. By choosing where to invest your mental energy, you're practicing a form of mental discipline. The goal is not to avoid overthinking entirely, That's an unrealistic expectation. The goal is to recognize when your thoughts do not serve you and to have the tools to redirect them. It's like training a muscle. The more you exercise this power of refocusing, the stronger and more resilient your mind becomes. You'll find that the once overwhelming tide of overthinking can be tamed, wave by wave, with deliberate action and presence. 3. Embrace eventually moving on. This visualization not only provides immediate relief, but also instills a deeper understanding that the nature of thought is to change. Making this practice a part of your daily routine can transform your relationship with your thoughts. It's not about forcing them out, but rather allowing them to leave. Letting go isn't giving up. It's an act of courage. It means you're choosing to not let redundant thoughts rent space in your head rent-free. As you get better at this, you'll notice a newfound mental space, a quietness that was always there, just hidden beneath the noise of overthinking. 4. Create a worry period. It's a common human experience to have worries nagging at the back of our mind, persistent, like the hum of a refrigerator, always there, sometimes barely noticeable but unmistakably present. These worries can hijack our thoughts at any hour, often when we're trying to concentrate on work, enjoy time with friends, or even when we're trying to sleep. It's like our mind is a stage, and these concerns are the uninvited actors who won't leave. But consider this wisdom from the Stoic teacher Epictetus. If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This quote may seem off track, but it's a bold reminder to prioritize our peace of mind over succumbing to worry in fear of seeming complacent or naive. Creating a worry period is a strategic way to give these concerns their moment on the stage, but only during the encore, not the main act. Set aside a specific time each day, maybe 20 minutes in the afternoon, when you're allowed to give these worries your full attention. During this designated time, dive into your worries, scrutinize them, understand their roots, and maybe even jot them down. What are you really worried about? How likely are these scenarios? What can you do about them? This focused session often reveals that many of our worries are like shadows, seemingly large but without much substance. When you face them head on, they lose their power. This process also teaches your mind that there's a time and place for worry, and it's not all day, every day. When the worry period ends, you move on. You've given your worries their allotted time, and now you put them aside. By compartmentalizing in this manner, you can regain control over your day. The goal isn't to stop worrying completely. That's impossible. But by containing your worries, you reduce their impact on your life. This technique is like tidying your mental room, putting thoughts where they belong and enjoying the tranquility of ordered space. You'll likely find that worries lose their power when they're not allowed to roam free, and life becomes a bit lighter, a bit more enjoyable. 5. Break down overwhelming thoughts into actionable steps. When overthinking strikes, it can feel like we're carrying the weight of an enormous boulder. The size of our worries seems to match the weight of the world, and we're pinned under the heavy cloud of our own thoughts. This sensation is not unique to us. It's a shared human condition, exacerbated in a world that demands high performance in all areas of life: work, relationships, personal growth, and social status. The pressure to excel can paralyze us with indecision and fear. As a guiding light through this fog of overthinking, Marcus Aurelius once offered, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound insight forms the bedrock of our fifth technique, transforming overwhelming thoughts into actionable steps. When your mind is racing with a big worry or a complex problem, the trick is to slice it down into smaller, manageable pieces. Ask yourself, what's the very next step I can take? Not all 5, 10, or 20 steps down the line, but just the next one. Acting on just one small step may seem trivial, but it's a powerful antidote to overthinking. By focusing on one action, you redirect energy from worrying to doing. It's a bit like untangling a giant knot. By working on one small tangle at a time, you aren't dismissing the complexity of your concerns. You're navigating through them with purpose and precision. The beauty of this technique is in its simplicity and effectiveness. Each small step you take builds momentum, and as you look back, you realize that boulder of worry is now a pile of pebbles you've crossed over, one step at a time. This method teaches patience, resilience, and trust in one's ability to confront challenges head-on. Suddenly, what once seems insurmountable is behind you, and your overthinking is replaced with a sense of accomplishment and clarity. 6. Shift your perspective to gratitude. Our minds can be tricky. They often lure us into a maze of overthinking about what we lack, what could go wrong, or what we have yet to achieve. This is a relentless loop that can leave us feeling drained and discontent. Overthinking often stems from a focus on the negatives, or the not yet in life, overshadowing the good that's already present. Seneca once said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." This nugget of Stoic wisdom is a call to shift our perspective from lack to abundance, from overthinking to gratitude. It's about recognizing the value of the present moment and the many blessings we often overlook when we're busy worrying about what's to come. The practice of gratitude pulls us out of the ruts of our minds and plants us firmly in the rich soil of now, where life is actually happening. To make this shift, start by acknowledging 3 things you're grateful for each day. They don't have to be grand, they just need to be genuine. It could be as simple as a delicious cup of coffee, the comfort of your favorite hoodie, or a message from a friend. This simple practice can pivot your mind away from the cycle of overthinking and towards a sense of appreciation for what is right now in your life. By anchoring yourself in gratitude, you're not only silencing the noise of overthinking, but also enriching your daily experience. Gratitude magnifies the positive in our lives and can slowly but surely transform our inner dialogue from one of scarcity to one of abundance. Over time, this new perspective can change how you approach life's challenges, turning them into opportunities to further recognize and appreciate what's already good in your world. This isn't just about feeling better in the moment. It's about building a foundation of contentment that can sustain you through the inevitable ups and downs life throws your way. 7. Focus on effort, not outcome. Overthinking is often the result of our mind's dance with the future, its outcomes, its what-ifs, and its relentless possibilities of failure and disappointment. This projection into the future can paralyze us with fear, as we obsess over the potential consequences of our actions, rather than the actions themselves. We live in an outcome-driven society where the end often justifies the means, and this can make us believe that if the outcome is uncertain, the journey is not worth embarking on. Yet a Stoic quote by Epictetus provides us with a clear directive. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our efforts and intentions rather than the outcomes we can't control. This doesn't mean we should not set goals or aspire to achieve great things, but it does mean that the true value lies in the quality of our effort, the integrity of our actions, and the virtue with which we navigate our path. To apply this technique, whenever you find yourself overthinking about the potential results of your efforts, consciously redirect your thoughts to the effort itself. Ask yourself, are you doing your best? Are you acting with good intent? Are you staying true to your values? This approach is about being fully present in the process, putting in the work, and knowing that it is where your responsibility ends. Its focus on effort can liberate us from the chains of overthinking It allows us to be in the moment, give our best, without the heavy shadow of what could be darkening our experience. It transforms our actions from mere steps towards an outcome into expressions of our character and commitment. With this shift in focus, you find that your path is not just a means to an end, but an embodiment of living with purpose, where each step is an accomplishment in itself. 8. Practice voluntary discomfort. Our minds often lead us into a whirlpool of overthinking when faced with potential discomfort or change. We play scenarios over and over, trying to predict every outcome, preparing for every possible discomfort. This mental rehearsal can be exhausting. The comfort zone becomes a mental prison where growth is stunted and overthinking becomes the warden. Marcus Aurelius once remarked, "The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing." This reflects the Stoic practice of engaging with challenges head-on, rather than avoiding them. By practicing voluntary discomfort, we can train our minds to handle uncertainty and reduce overthinking. It's about small, chosen actions that take us out of our comfort zones, teaching us resilience and adaptability. To integrate this into modern life, start with something small, like taking a cold shower, sleeping without a pillow, or walking instead of driving. Do something that disrupts your normal routine and sit with whatever feelings arise without judgment. This isn't about punishment. It's about showing yourself that discomfort isn't as scary as your overthinking mind makes it out to be. Voluntary discomfort has the paradoxical effect of increasing comfort with the various aspects of life. By routinely stepping into what's uncomfortable, the unfamiliar becomes familiar, and the mind learns to quiet. It becomes less reactive to change and more focused on what can be controlled, your responses. This powerful shift in perspective not only lessens overthinking, but also builds a core of inner strength that is unshaken by the ebbs and flows of life's circumstances. 9. Reflect on the transience of life. When we're caught in the storm of overthinking, it's often because we've zoomed in too closely on the minute details of our lives, losing sight of the bigger picture. Our thoughts become a tangle of "what if this happens?" or "what if that doesn't work out?" causing us to lose perspective. This microscopic view can make even the smallest issues appear insurmountable, consuming our mental space and energy. Seneca once wrote, "We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it." This poignant reminder encourages us to reflect on the fleeting nature of our existence. Each moment spent overthinking is a moment not fully lived, a slice of life not savored. Stoicism prompts us to ask ourselves whether our worries will hold any weight in the grand timeline of our lives. To counteract overthinking, then, we should regularly take a step back and consider our life in its entirety. Recognize that many of the things that consume our thoughts are transient and, in the long run, insignificant. When you feel overwhelmed by your thoughts, pause and remind yourself that life is fleeting. Ask if this moment of overthinking is truly worthy of the limited time you have. By contemplating the transience of life, we naturally prioritize our experiences and concerns. This isn't a call to become morose or indifferent, but rather to cherish the present and to focus on what truly matters. It's a powerful antidote to overthinking because it aligns our attention with the present, enriches our appreciation for the now, and diminishes the weight of future-focused anxieties. Let the ephemeral nature of life not be a source of anxiety, but a canvas on which you paint with the vivid colors of presence and engaged living. 10. Seek wisdom from outside yourself. Our own minds can sometimes feel like a maze, where each turn leads to more confusion and overthinking. We try to solve a puzzle, only to find that the pieces keep multiplying, leaving us feeling stuck. This is the problem of overthinking in a nutshell, a cycle that starts and ends within the confines of our own thoughts, often without a clear exit. Seneca, a man celebrated for his wisdom, said, "Consult your friend on everything, especially on those matters concerning yourself. His counsel may then be useful where your own self-love might impair your judgment." These simple words encapsulate a profound truth that can help navigate the stormy seas of overthinking. Stoicism teaches us that seeking insight from outside ourselves can break the cycle of rumination. It could be the fresh perspective of a friend, the impartial advice of a mentor, or the timeless wisdom found in literature. Now, to apply this in a modern context, look for people whose opinions you trust and respect. It could be someone from your circle or a professional with the experience to guide you. Sharing your thoughts with them can help in two ways. It provides clarity as you articulate what's in your mind, and it opens the door for objective feedback that you may have missed while overthinking. This technique does more than offer practical solutions. It reminds us that human connection is invaluable. When we share our burdens, they often become lighter. This is not a weakness, but a recognition of the collective strength we have as social beings. Let the wisdom of others be the light that guides you out of the shadows of overthinking. With each conversation, you'll find the puzzle becoming easier to solve, not because the problems are any less complex, but because you are no longer trying to solve them in isolation. Which of these methods resonated with you? Let us know your reflections in the comments. Today's insights are but stepping stones in our shared path of intellectual growth. If you value the pursuit of wisdom, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Together, let us persist on this path of wisdom. The journey to greatness begins with a single step. As we leave 2024 behind, it's time to ask ourselves, what can I do today to be the best version of myself tomorrow? As the final chapter of 2024 draws to a close, we stand at the threshold of a new dawn, beckoning us to embrace a moment of reflection and anticipation. Life's a bit like an uncharted journey, where each day offers a new chance to shape our destiny. The ancient Stoics, with their profound wisdom, understood this well. They weren't just philosophers lost in thought. They were realists, deeply connected with the rhythms of life. Imagine a quiet evening in late 2024. You're reflecting on the past year and pondering the future. It's not just about setting resolutions that might be forgotten. It's about embedding habits that will shape your life. So here are 10 habits crafted for the transition from 2024 to 2025. These aren't just ideas to ponder, they're actions to live by. And don't worry, we're not going to delve into complex jargon. This is advice for today, straightforward, practical, and directly applicable to your daily life. 1. Start small. George Washington, a man whose resolve shaped a nation, cherished the saying, "Many mickles make a muckle," a humble Scottish proverb. Yet it captures a profound truth. The grand is made up of the tiny. Similarly, Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, had it right when he said, "Well-being is realized by small steps, but it's no small thing." He understood that transformation doesn't happen in leaps, but in small, deliberate strides. Think of it like planting seeds. Each tiny seed has the potential to grow into something magnificent. So, how do we apply this? Let's say you aim to read more. Instead of setting an overwhelming goal, commit to a page a day. It's like building a mosaic. Each small piece adds to the grand picture. Remember, a walk begins with a single step, and a habit starts with a single action. James Clear's Atomic Habits echoes this sentiment beautifully. The essence of atomic habits isn't just in their explosive potential, but in their foundational nature. An atom, the smallest unit, holds immense power. Our smallest habits, similarly, are the building blocks of profound change. And here's a secret. It's not just about doing small things, but also thinking small. Avoid the trap of grand, unattainable promises. Instead, focus on what's right in front of you, the immediate, the achievable. As you string together these small victories, you'll find they lead to significant transformations. Remember, even the mightiest river starts as a trickle. So, as we step into 2025, let's embrace the power of starting small. After all, as Zeno would remind us, no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. 2. Stop letting anxiety rule over you. There's a storm we all face, one that brews not in the sky but within us. Anxiety. It's a shadow that follows us, whispering about what could go wrong or what might happen. But here's a clear truth. You're not a puppet, and anxiety should not be the puppeteer. Marcus Aurelius, a man who helmed an empire, understood this. In his meditations, he wrote, "Today I escaped from anxiety, or no, I discarded it, because it was within me." That's a powerful realization. The turbulence isn't in the plane or the airport, it's in us. Now, how do we break free from this invisible chain? First, own your feelings. Recognize that anxiety is a product of your thoughts, not the world around you. It's like a fog clouding your vision, making mountains out of molehills. The key is to clear that fog, to see the world as it is, not as your fears paint it. Second, practice mindfulness. Take a moment, breathe, and ask yourself, is this worry a product of what's happening or what I fear might happen? More often than not, you'll find it's the latter. Finally, let's debunk a myth. Anxiety is not a preemptive solution to potential problems. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It doesn't prepare you, it paralyzes you. It's like sitting in a rocking chair. There's a lot of movement, but you're going nowhere. So as we transition into the new year, let's pledge to unshackle ourselves from the chains of anxiety. Let's approach life with a clear mind and a steady heart. As Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Remember, the only storm you need to weather is the one inside you. 3. Create a routine. Imagine your day as a blank canvas. Without a plan, it's just a space waiting to be filled haphazardly. But with a routine, it's a masterpiece in the making. The power of a routine lies not in rigidity, but in providing a framework to channel your energy effectively. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher whose wisdom has traversed centuries, once said, "Life without a design is erratic." He knew that a well-structured day is a well-spent day. So how do you craft this routine? It's not about copying someone else's schedule. It's about creating one that resonates with you. Start by identifying your most productive time of the day. Are you a morning person, like me, who thrives in the quiet hours of dawn? Or does your energy peak as the day unfolds? Tailor your routine around this natural rhythm. Dedicate your prime hours to your most important tasks, the ones that require your full attention and creativity. For me, it's about owning the morning, not letting it own me. I start with activities that set a positive tone for the day, a walk, a moment of reflection, or tackling a creative project before the world wakes up. But remember, routine isn't just about work. It's about balance. Integrate habits that nourish your mind, body, and soul. Maybe it's reading, exercising, or spending quality time with loved ones. And crucially, stick to your routine. Consistency is the glue that holds it all together. As you build this routine, you'll find that it becomes a foundation for good habits to grow. After all, as Seneca reminds us, principles are necessary. And what what's a routine if not a principle you live by every day? Embrace the structure and watch as uncertain chaos transforms into a symphony of productivity and peace. 4. Give yourself the order to stop. There's a story that echoes through time, not of a battle or a conquest, but of a personal victory. Dwight D. Eisenhower, a man whose decisions shaped history, faced a formidable foe: his 4-pack-a-day smoking habit. His doctor's words were a clarion call: quit or face dire consequences. Eisenhower's response: he gave himself an order to stop, and just like that, he quit cold turkey after 40 years. This is a testament to a profound principle: no man is free who is not master of himself, as Epictetus once said. This tale isn't just about overcoming a smoking habit, it's about conquering any vice that holds you captive. We all have our battles, be it with unhealthy habits, procrastination, or negative thinking. The key to victory lies in giving yourself the order to stop. It's about asserting control over your impulses, rather than letting them control you. Seneca, another Stoic sage, observed, "We are all slaves to something, but the beauty of Stoicism lies in recognizing that we hold the keys to our own chains." So how do you apply this to your life? Identify that one thing. Maybe it's that extra cup of coffee, endless scrolling on social media, or any habit that's more of a hindrance than a help. Acknowledge its impact on your life. Then make a firm, unequivocal decision to stop. It's not about gradual change, it's about a definitive, deliberate action. When you give yourself the order to stop, you're not just breaking a habit, you're reclaiming your freedom. As you step into 2025, carry this empowering message: you are the commander of your destiny, and the first command is to master yourself. 5. Free up precious resources. Time, the most valuable resource we have, is often squandered on trivialities. We claim to be starved of time, yet a glance at our screen time reveals the truth. It's not about having more time, it's about using the time we have wisely. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's essential. Epictetus, a philosopher known for his practical wisdom, said, "If you wish to improve, be willing to appear clueless or stupid about some things." This is about making a conscious choice to not get sucked into the vortex of non-essentials, be it doom scrolling, excessive news consumption, or other digital distractions. The strategy here is twofold: awareness and action. First, become acutely aware of where your time goes. Track your activities for a day or a week. You'll likely be surprised at how much time is spent on activities that add little value to your life. This awareness is the first step toward change. Next, take decisive action. Start by reducing the time spent on these distractions. Set limits on your app usage. Designate specific times for news consumption, and avoid aimlessly browsing the internet. This isn't about cutting off from the world, but about choosing not to drown in it. As you reclaim your time, you'll find you have more of it for things that truly matter: pursuing your goals, nurturing relationships, and fostering personal growth. This habit isn't just about time management, it's about life management. It's about ensuring that the precious hours of your day are spent on pursuits that enrich your life, not deplete it. As we transition into 2025, let's remind ourselves of Epictetus's words and focus our energy and time on what truly contributes to our well-being and growth. Remember, every minute spent on something meaningless is a minute taken away from something meaningful. 6. Do something difficult. At the dawn of each new year, Seneca, a Stoic heavyweight, didn't just make resolutions. He made a statement. He plunged into the icy waters of the Tiber River. It wasn't for a swim. It was a declaration of mastery over himself. He was saying loud and clear, "I'm in charge." This act wasn't about the chill of the water. It was about the fire it kindled within, a fire of self-assertion and resilience. It's a vivid reminder that sometimes doing something difficult can be the most empowering act. So how do we bring this lesson into our lives? It starts with stepping out of our comfort zone. Choose something that challenges you, something that makes you a bit uneasy. It could be anything. Waking up an hour earlier, taking a cold shower, speaking up in a meeting, or even learning a new skill. The task itself isn't as important as the act of pushing your boundaries. It's in these moments of discomfort that we grow the most. It's where we discover what we are truly capable of. The essence of this practice lies not in the difficulty itself, but in the assertion of your will over your instincts. It's a testament to your inner strength, a demonstration that you are more than your fears and hesitations. As you embark on this journey of doing something difficult, remember Seneca's unspoken message. I control my actions, my reactions, and my mind. Let 2025 be the year you embrace challenge, where you prove to yourself that you can do hard things. After all, in the face of challenges, we don't just survive, we thrive. 7. Associate with people who make you better. The company we keep molds us more than we often realize. It's like walking through a forest. The paths you choose determine where you end up. This idea isn't new. The Stoics understood the power of association. Seneca, through his letters, demonstrated the value of surrounding oneself with people who inspire growth and wisdom. He once wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you." This isn't just about choosing friends. It's about choosing influences that shape your character and your life. So how do you apply this in today's world? Start by taking a close look at your circle. Who are the people you spend the most time with? Do they embody the qualities you admire and aspire to? It's not about finding perfect people. It's about finding those who challenge you, support your growth, and share your values. It's like planting yourself in fertile soil, where the environment is conducive to growth. Remember, if you dwell with those who limp, you'll learn to limp too. This isn't just about avoiding negative influences. It's also about actively seeking positive ones. Create your own circle, be it a book club, a discussion group, or just a set of friends committed to personal growth. Engage in activities that enrich your mind and soul. Discuss ideas, debate philosophically, and challenge each other. As Seneca said, "We learn as we teach." By surrounding yourself with people who push you to be better, you'll find that you don't just rise to the occasion, you rise above it. Let 2025 be the year you cultivate your garden of influences, ensuring that every person in it adds value to your life's journey. 8. Stop fearing change. Embracing change is like learning to ride the waves. Resist, and you'll be toppled over. Adapt, and you'll be carried forward. Marcus Aurelius, in his reflective meditations, mused on the nature of change. He understood that life's rhythm is a constant ebb and flow of transformation. By fearing change, we close ourselves off to the myriad possibilities and opportunities it brings. It's not just about accepting change, it's about welcoming it with open arms. To incorporate this into your life, start by shifting your perspective. View change not as a threat, but as an inevitable and exciting part of life. It's a chance for growth, learning, and new experiences. This year, challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone. Try something new, be it a hobby, a career move, or even a new way of thinking. It's in these moments of uncertainty and novelty that we often find our most profound growth and satisfaction. Moreover, develop a mindset of adaptability. Like a tree that bends in the wind but doesn't break, learn to be flexible in the face of change. Adaptability doesn't mean being passive. It's about actively finding ways to thrive in new circumstances. As you navigate the changing landscapes of life, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Let 2025 be the year where you ride the waves of change with skill and grace, turning every new challenge into an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. As you navigate the changing landscapes of life, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Let 2025 be the year where you ride the waves of change with skill and grace, turning every new challenge into an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. 9. Say no to the inessential. In a world brimming with choices and distractions, the art of saying no becomes a superpower. Marcus Aurelius, a man who juggled the complexities of ruling an empire, recognized the power in discernment. He wisely noted that much of what we do isn't essential. By saying no to the inessential, we don't just free up time, we amplify our ability to focus on what truly matters. It's about making room for the essential by clearing out the clutter. To adopt this in your life, start by evaluating your commitments. Are they aligning with your values and goals? It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of busy work that contributes little to our overall purpose. Practice the art of saying no to these distractions. This doesn't mean becoming aloof or unhelpful. It's about setting boundaries that enable you to dedicate your energy to pursuits that are genuinely meaningful. Remember, every time you say yes to something insignificant, you're indirectly saying no to something important. Flip this equation. Make your yeses count. Give an emphatic, wholehearted yes to activities that enrich your life, whether it's personal development, relationships, or your passions. This selective yes is not just a response, it's a commitment to excellence in what truly matters. As you move into the new year, let your yes be reserved for what brings you closer to the person you aspire to be. Echoing Aurelius's wisdom, ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary? Allow 2025 to be the year where you refine the delicate and impactful skill of declining the non-essential, thereby charting a path toward a life rich in focus, purpose, and deep satisfaction. 10. Come back to rhythm. Embracing our humanity includes accepting our imperfections and missteps. Marcus Aurelius, a leader who navigated the complexities of life and empire, knew well the inevitability of faltering. He once reflected on the importance of not just getting up when we fall, but also recognizing the beauty in our humanity that allows us to do so. It's a call to understand that stumbling is part of our journey, not a deviation from it. In practical terms, this means adopting a mindset of resilience and forgiveness. When you slip up on your diet, miss a workout, or falter in your resolutions, don't view it as a failure. Instead, see it as an integral part of the process of growth. The key is in how you respond to these setbacks. Do you berate yourself, or do you acknowledge the slip and gently steer yourself back on track? Embrace the latter approach. It's about creating a habit of self-compassion and persistence. Each time you return to your path, you reinforce the habit of resilience. Celebrate your capacity to return to your rhythm, no matter how many times you might lose it. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress and the continuous journey back to what matters. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. As we stride forward into 2025, let's carry with us the essence of these practices, not just as concepts, but as daily actions that mold our lives. Remember, the journey towards self-discipline, resilience, and serenity isn't just about understanding Stoicism. It's about living it. Each day offers a new canvas, and your actions are the brushstrokes that paint your life's portrait. So start today. Pick a practice. Maybe it's a moment of morning reflection or an act of kindness, and see how it transforms your world. Your feedback and stories of transformation are the fuel that keeps this journey vibrant and evolving. Together, let's explore this path of continual growth and share our experiences, shaping not just our own lives, but also inspiring those around us. Thank you for being part of this journey, for your support, and for choosing to make each day a step toward a richer, more meaningful life. Don't forget to watch our next video for more insights and inspiration on your journey, called Life. Your path to growth continues there. It's a harsh reality, but some people in our lives take pleasure in causing harm and chaos. Think about it. You could be sharing moments, trusting someone, only to discover they are the very source of your turmoil. Today, we dive deep into a topic that's as fascinating as it is frightening, recognizing the signs you're dealing with an evil person. Whether it's a colleague, a friend, or even a family member, these individuals can be masters of deception, hiding their true nature behind charm and charisma. Today, we're not just exploring this dark side of human behavior out of curiosity. Understanding these signs can be life-changing. The Stoics believed in the power of perception and the importance of living a life guided by reason and virtue. By identifying and understanding these toxic traits, we can protect our peace of mind and cultivate healthier relationships, staying true to the principles of wisdom and self-control. Stay with us as we uncover 5 telltale signs of an evil person. By the end of this video, you'll not only be better equipped to spot these behaviors, but also learn practical ways to safeguard your mental health and well-being. And if you appreciate what we're doing here, a simple, free favor I'll ask from you is to hit the subscribe button. Please don't skip any part of the video. You won't want to miss our special bonus section, where I'll share an effective strategy for setting firm boundaries with these individuals. Let's embark on this journey of self-awareness and resilience together. Number 1. Charming and charismatic at first. When we talk about people who seem charming and charismatic at first, it's important to remember that appearances can be deceiving. These individuals often have a way of lighting up a room, making everyone around them feel special and valued. They know exactly what to say to make you feel like you've just made a new best friend. At first glance, they seem like the perfect person, witty, engaging, and seemingly interested in your life. It's easy to get swept up in their charm, thinking you've found someone truly special. However, the Stoics teach us to look beyond the surface and seek the truth through rational thought and observation. Over time, you might start to notice little cracks in their facade. Maybe they always need to be the center of attention, overshadowing others in social settings. They might talk over you, interrupt you, or even subtly put you down in front of others. These aren't just quirks or signs of an extroverted personality. They're red flags. The Stoics would advise us to observe these behaviors with a clear mind, unclouded by the initial excitement of their charisma. Imagine being at a party where this person is the life of the event, telling jokes and captivating the crowd. At first, it feels great to be in their orbit, but as the evening progresses, you realize they're dominating every conversation, making everything about themselves. When you try to share something about your life, they quickly redirect the topic back to them. This is where the principle of apatheia, a state of being undisturbed by external things, comes in handy. By staying emotionally balanced, you can see through their charming act and recognize the self-centered nature underneath. It's also crucial to pay attention to how they react when things don't go their way. A person who is genuinely kind and caring will handle disappointments and disagreements with grace and understanding. But someone who is merely playing a role to gain your trust might quickly become angry or defensive. They might lash out or try to manipulate the situation to regain control. According to Stoic wisdom, such reactions are clear indicators of a lack of virtuous character. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to be wary of those who display signs of anger and manipulation, as these are not the traits of a rational and virtuous person. The key here is to take your time and trust your instinct. The Stoics believed in the power of observation and the importance of not rushing to judgment based on first impressions. Epictetus taught that we should carefully evaluate the character of those we allow into our inner circle. So, if someone seems too good to be true, give yourself the space to observe their actions over time. Notice how they treat others, especially when they think no one is watching. True character is revealed in how a person behaves when they aren't trying to impress anyone. Remember, not everyone who seems charming and charismatic has good intentions. Some people use their charm as a tool for manipulation. By staying grounded and mindful, you can protect yourself from being taken in by a superficial facade. Stay true to the principles of wisdom and discernment, and you'll be better equipped to navigate these complex social interactions. Another crucial sign to watch out for: a lack of empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. It's what allows us to connect deeply with those around us, to offer support when it's needed, and to create meaningful relationships. However, there are individuals out there who seem to completely lack this essential human trait. They don't care about how their actions or words affect others, and this can have a devastating impact on those around them. The Stoics believed in the importance of compassion and understanding as fundamental virtues. Marcus Aurelius often spoke about the interconnectedness of humanity and the need to consider the well-being of others as part of our own well-being. So, when we encounter someone who shows a blatant disregard for the feelings of others, it's a serious red flag. Imagine you're sharing something deeply personal with a friend, hoping for some comfort or understanding. Instead of showing any genuine concern, they brush off your feelings or even mock your vulnerability. This lack of empathy can make you feel isolated and misunderstood. It's not just about them not being there for you in tough times. It's also about them failing to share in your joy or celebrate your successes. A person who lacks empathy won't cheer for your achievements. They might even undermine them or take credit themselves. This behavior is not just limited to personal relationships. Consider a boss who pushes their employees to the brink, showing no concern for their well-being. They might demand long hours without fair compensation, ignore requests for time off, or publicly criticize employees in a way that's meant to humiliate rather than constructively guide. This creates a toxic work environment where people feel undervalued and stressed. The Stoics would advise us to maintain our inner peace and integrity in such situations, recognizing that the lack of empathy in others is a reflection of their character, not ours. Furthermore, a lack of empathy can lead to more sinister behaviors. People who cannot empathize with others may engage in actions that are outright cruel or without any sense of guilt or remorse. They might lie, cheat, or even inflict physical harm without a second thought about the pain they're causing. The Stoic philosopher Seneca emphasized the importance of kindness and justice, teaching that our actions should always reflect our inner virtue. When someone lacks empathy, they're fundamentally disconnected from these values. Lack of empathy is also evident in smaller, everyday interactions. For example, you might notice that someone constantly interrupts conversations to talk about themselves, shows little interest in what others have to say, or fails to offer help when it's clearly needed. These might seem like minor annoyances at first, but they add up to a pattern of behavior that reveals a deeper issue. The Stoics would remind us to be observant and discerning, understanding that these small signs are indicative of a person's true character. If you find yourself dealing with someone who consistently lacks empathy, it's important to set boundaries to protect your own mental and emotional health. The Stoics believed in the importance of maintaining our own well-being and not allowing the negativity of others to disturb our peace. You have the right to distance yourself from those who drain your energy and bring you down. Another major sign of an evil person is manipulation. Manipulation occurs when someone uses deceit or cunning tactics to control or influence others to get what they want. It's a subtle, often insidious behavior that can be incredibly damaging to those on the receiving end. Manipulators are skilled at twisting situations, making you question your reality and bending your will to suit their needs. This can leave you feeling confused, powerless, and unsure of your own judgments. Let's think about manipulation from a Stoic perspective. The Stoics valued clarity of thought and the ability to see things as they truly are. They taught that our perceptions should be grounded in reality and that we should remain steadfast in our principles, no matter the external pressures. When someone manipulates you, they are attempting to cloud your perception and distort reality, making it difficult for you to stay true to these Stoic ideals. The common form of manipulation is gaslighting, where the manipulator tries to make you doubt your own memory, perception, or sanity. They might deny that certain events happened, or they might twist your words and actions to make you feel at fault. For example, let's say you confront a friend about something hurtful they said. Instead of acknowledging it, they might turn the tables, accusing you of being overly sensitive or misremembering the situation. This can erode your confidence and make you reliant on the manipulator's version of reality. Manipulators are also adept at playing the victim. They might guilt-trip you into doing things you don't want to do by making you feel responsible for their happiness or well-being. You might have a friend who constantly complains about their problems, expecting you to drop everything to help them, yet they are never there for you in return. They might say things like, "If you were really my friend, you'd do this for me," making you feel obligated to comply. The Stoics, especially Epictetus, emphasize the importance of understanding what is within our control and what is not. We cannot control others' actions or emotions, only our response to them. Consider how a manipulator might use flattery or charm to get their way. At first, this can feel great. They might shower you with compliments and make you feel special. But over time, you might notice that their praise comes with strings attached. They might compliment you when they want something from you, or when they need you to do something for them. This can make you feel like you owe them, or that you need to live up to their expectations to maintain their approval. The Stoics would remind us that true virtue and self-worth come from within, not from the fleeting approval of others. Manipulation can also take the form of isolation. A manipulative person might try to cut you off from your friends and family, making you more dependent on them. They might say things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family doesn't understand you like I do." This tactic makes it easier for them to control you because you become more reliant on them for support and validation. The Stoics believed in maintaining strong, supportive relationships with others, recognizing that we are social beings who thrive in community. Isolation goes against these principles, as it weakens our support network and makes us more vulnerable to manipulation. Financial manipulation is another tactic used by evil people. They might borrow money, never repay it, or they might control your finances to limit your independence. For instance, a partner might insist on managing all the money in the relationship, making you ask for permission to spend anything. This control over finances can make it difficult for you to leave the relationship or assert your independence. The Stoics would encourage us to seek self-sufficiency and independence, ensuring that we are not unduly influenced or controlled by others. Recognizing manipulation for what it is can be challenging, especially when you care about the person involved. The Stoics teach us to be vigilant and discerning, to see things clearly, and to act with integrity. If you suspect someone is manipulating you, take a step back and assess the situation objectively. Are they consistently prioritizing their needs over yours? Do they make you feel guilty or unsure of yourself? Are they trying to control aspects of your life or isolate you from others? It's important to set firm boundaries with manipulators and stand your ground. Communicate clearly and assertively about what you will and will not tolerate. Remember, you have the right to your own thoughts, feelings, and actions. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot control how others behave, we can control how we respond. By maintaining our inner strength and clarity, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of manipulation and stay true to our values. One of the most glaring signs of an evil person: controlling behavior. This goes beyond mere preferences or quirks. It's about someone who seeks to dominate every aspect of your life, leaving little room for your own autonomy and decisions. Controlling individuals often disguise their behavior as concern or care, but underneath, it's about power and control. The Stoics, who valued personal freedom and self-control, would see this behavior as fundamentally opposed to living a virtuous life. Controlling behavior can manifest in many ways. For instance, you might have a friend who insists on always choosing where you go and what you do together. While it might seem harmless at first, over time you start to realize that your preferences and opinions are consistently ignored or overridden. They might say things like, "I know what's best for us," or "You'll have more fun if you just listen to me." This isn't about mutual decision-making. It's about one person exerting their will over another. In relationships, controlling behavior can become even more dangerous. A partner might monitor your whereabouts, demand constant updates on your activities, and even dictate who you can and cannot see. They might go through your phone, check your messages, or insist on knowing all your passwords. This kind of surveillance and micromanagement can make you feel trapped and anxious, constantly walking on eggshells to avoid conflict. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasize the importance of maintaining your own inner freedom and autonomy, regardless of external pressures. Control can also come in the form of financial manipulation. A controlling partner or family member might take charge of all financial decisions, doling out money as they see fit, and keeping you financially dependent on them. They might say, "I handle the money because you're not good with finances." Or, "It's easier if I just take care of everything." This can strip you of your financial independence and make it difficult to leave the relationship or assert your own choices. The Stoics believed in self-sufficiency and managing your own resources wisely, viewing financial control as a form of enslavement that must be resisted. Another way controlling behavior shows up is through isolation. A controlling person might try to cut you off from friends and family, claiming that they're the only one who truly understands or cares about you. They might criticize your loved ones, saying things like, "Your friends don't really care about you," or "Your family is toxic." Over time, you might find yourself increasingly isolated, relying solely on the controlling person for support and companionship. The Stoics recognize the importance of community and supportive relationships, seeing isolation as detrimental to both personal growth and well-being. Controlling individuals also often use threats and intimidation to maintain their power. They might threaten to leave you, harm themselves, or even hurt you if you don't comply with their demands. This creates an environment of fear and anxiety, making it difficult to think clearly or make decisions that are best for you. The Stoics, especially Seneca, taught that we should face our fears and not allow others to intimidate us into submission. And true courage and wisdom lie in standing firm against such threats and reclaiming our own power. It's important to understand that controlling behavior is about more than just wanting things done a certain way. It's about fundamentally undermining your ability to make your own choices and live your own life. The Stoics would advise us to recognize these behaviors for what they are: an attack on our autonomy and a violation of our personal freedom. By staying true to our values and maintaining our inner strength, we can resist the influence of controlling individuals and reclaim our right to live freely. If you find yourself dealing with someone who exhibits controlling behavior, it's crucial to set firm boundaries and assert your independence. Communicate clearly about your needs and limits, and don't be afraid to seek support from others who understand your situation. Remember, the Stoics teach us that we cannot control others, but we can control our own reactions and decisions. By staying grounded in our principles and valuing our own autonomy, we can protect ourselves from the harmful effects of controlling behavior and live more authentic, fulfilling lives. Another unmistakable sign of an evil person is pathological lying. This goes beyond the occasional white lie that most people tell. Pathological liars deceive constantly, often without any apparent reason. They fabricate stories, manipulate facts, and distort reality to suit their own needs or to gain an advantage over others. This behavior can be incredibly damaging to relationships, eroding trust and creating a web of deceit that's difficult to untangle. The Stoics valued truth and integrity above all else. They believed that a virtuous life was grounded in honesty and that deceit was a fundamental betrayal of one's character. Marcus Aurelius emphasized living in accordance with nature, which means aligning our actions with truth and reason. When someone lies pathologically, they are living in direct opposition to these principles, creating a false reality that benefits only themselves. Pathological lying can take many forms. It might start with small, seemingly harmless lies, like embellishing a story to make themselves look better or more interesting. Over time, these lies can escalate, covering up mistakes or wrongdoings and manipulating others to achieve their goals. A pathological liar might claim to have accomplished things they haven't, falsely take credit for others' work, or make up stories about their past to gain sympathy or admiration. This constant dishonesty creates a distorted view of reality where you can never be sure what's true and what's fabricated. Consider how a pathological liar might operate in a workplace. They might lie about their qualifications, exaggerate their contributions to projects, or spread false rumors about colleagues to sabotage them. This can create a toxic environment where trust is undermined and people are constantly on edge, unsure of who to believe. The Stoics would advise us to remain steadfast in our own integrity, not allowing ourselves to be swayed by the deceitful actions of others. Epictetus taught that we should focus on what we can control, our own thoughts and actions, and not be disturbed by the dishonesty of those around us. In personal relationships, pathological lying can be even more destructive. Imagine being in a relationship with someone who constantly lies about their whereabouts, their past, or their feelings. This behavior can make you feel insecure, anxious, and constantly questioning your own perceptions. You might find yourself doubting your memory or second-guessing your instincts, which is exactly what the liar wants. They thrive on creating confusion and instability, keeping you off balance so they can maintain control. The Stoics would remind us to trust our own judgment and not be swayed by the manipulations of others. Seneca taught that true peace comes from within, and that we should not allow the deceit of others to disturb our inner tranquility. One of the most insidious aspects of pathological lying is that it's often difficult to detect at first. Pathological liars can be incredibly convincing, telling their lies with such confidence and detail that it's hard not to believe them. They might mix truth with lies, making it even more challenging to discern what's real. This is where the Stoic principle of vigilance comes into play. We must remain observant and critical, not taking things at face value, but instead seeking the truth through careful consideration and evidence. When you catch someone in a lie, pay attention to how they react. Do they become defensive or aggressive? Do they try to turn the tables and blame you? Or do they offer a plausible explanation that seems to make sense, even if it's just another layer of deceit? A genuine person will admit to their mistakes and strive to correct them, while a pathological liar will double down on their falsehoods, weaving an even more intricate web of lies. The Stoics would counsel us to remain calm and rational in the face of such behavior, recognizing it for what it is and not allowing it to provoke us. It's also important to consider the long-term impact of pathological lying. Over time, it can erode the very foundation of trust that any relationship is built upon. Once trust is broken, it's incredibly difficult to rebuild. You might find yourself constantly suspicious, always wondering if you're being lied to again. This can lead to a toxic cycle of mistrust and resentment. The Stoics believed in the importance of building strong, honest relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. When dealing with a pathological liar, you must decide whether it's worth trying to rebuild that trust, or whether it's healthier to distance yourself from their toxic influence. If you find yourself entangled with a pathological liar, it's crucial to set firm boundaries and protect your own mental and emotional well-being. The Stoics would advise us to remain true to our own values and principles, not allowing ourselves to be dragged down by the deceit of others. Be clear about what you will and will not tolerate. And don't be afraid to walk away from a relationship or situation that is built on lies. Remember, your peace of mind and integrity are more important than maintaining a connection with someone who consistently deceives you. Now, how can you protect yourself from these harmful behaviors while maintaining your peace and integrity? Setting boundaries is one of the most crucial skills you can develop when dealing with difficult or toxic people. Boundaries are about defining what you will and will not accept in your relationships, and they are essential for protecting your mental, emotional, and even physical well-being. The Stoics, who emphasized the importance of personal integrity and inner peace, would see boundary setting as a fundamental practice for maintaining a virtuous and tranquil life. First and foremost, it's important to recognize that setting boundaries is not about being harsh or unkind. It's about respecting yourself and ensuring that others respect you as well. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-respect and living in harmony with our true nature. By setting clear boundaries, you are not only protecting yourself, but also fostering healthier interactions with others. When it comes to setting boundaries, clarity is key. You need to be specific about what behaviors you will not tolerate and communicate this clearly and assertively. For example, if you have a friend who frequently belittles you or puts you down, you might say, "I appreciate our friendship, but I won't tolerate being spoken to in a disrespectful manner. If this continues, I will have to distance myself." This approach is direct and leaves no room for misinterpretation. According to Stoic principles, this kind of clear communication helps maintain order and respect in relationships. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is consistency. It's not enough to state your boundaries once and expect others to adhere to them without reminders. You must consistently enforce your boundaries, even when it's uncomfortable or difficult. The Stoics, particularly Epictetus, emphasized the importance of discipline and perseverance. By consistently upholding your boundaries, you demonstrate self-respect and teach others how to treat you. If someone repeatedly crosses your boundaries, it's a clear sign that they do not respect you or your limits, and it may be necessary to reassess the relationship. It's also important to remember that setting boundaries is not a one-time event but an ongoing process. As relationships evolve, your boundaries may need to be adjusted. For instance, in a work environment, you might need to set boundaries around your availability and workload to prevent burnout. You could say to a colleague or supervisor, "I am happy to help with this project, but I cannot take on additional tasks beyond my current responsibilities." The Stoics would advise us to balance our duties and not overextend ourselves to the detriment of our well-being. One of the most challenging aspects of setting boundaries is dealing with the pushback or resistance you might encounter. People who are used to getting their way, especially those with controlling or manipulative tendencies, may not take kindly to your newfound assertiveness. They might react with anger, guilt-tripping, or even attempts to undermine your confidence. The Stoics teach us to remain calm and steadfast in the face of such challenges. Marcus Aurelius wrote about the importance of maintaining our composure and not being swayed by the negative emotions of others. When you encounter resistance, stay firm and remind yourself that your boundaries are necessary for your well-being. In some cases, setting boundaries might mean making difficult decisions, such as distancing yourself from certain individuals or even ending relationships that are toxic or harmful. This can be a painful process, but it's essential for preserving your mental and emotional health. The Stoics would remind us that our primary responsibility is to our own virtue and well-being. Seneca often spoke about the importance of choosing our associations wisely, recognizing that the company we keep can significantly impact our character and happiness. By distancing yourself from those who consistently violate your boundaries, you are making a powerful statement about your self-worth and commitment to living a virtuous life. It's also helpful to seek support from others when setting boundaries. This could mean talking to trusted friends, family members, or a therapist about your experiences and getting their input and encouragement. Sharing your struggles and successes with boundary setting can provide you with valuable perspective and strengthen your resolve. The Stoics valued community and the support of like-minded individuals. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the interconnectedness of humanity and the importance of mutual support. By leaning on your support network, you can find the strength to uphold your boundaries and maintain your well-being. In addition, practicing self-care is crucial when setting and maintaining boundaries. This includes taking time for yourself, engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation, and nurturing your physical and mental health. The Stoics believed in the importance of self-care as a foundation for a virtuous life. Epictetus, for example, emphasized the need to care for our own well-being so that we can be of service to others and fulfill our responsibilities effectively. By prioritizing self-care, you reinforce the message that your well-being is important and deserving of protection. Remember that setting boundaries is a form of self-respect and self-love. It's about recognizing your own value and refusing to allow others to diminish it. The Stoics teach us that our worth is not determined by external factors, but by our own actions and integrity. By setting and maintaining boundaries, you are living in accordance with these principles and fostering a life of peace, virtue, and resilience. Ever found yourself staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., wondering how to muster the strength for another day? We've all been there, or at least most of us have. Those moments when life feels like a relentless storm and all you're looking for is a beacon to guide you through? Well, you're not alone. Now, if you're new here or haven't done it yet, hit that notification bell and subscribe. Why? Because we're about to dive deep into 8 lessons that have the power to transform hard days into stepping stones. 1. Embrace the present moment. Life has a funny way of throwing curveballs at us. Sometimes it feels like we're juggling a million things at once, and the weight of the world is on our shoulders. Remember that time when you felt the weight of a looming deadline or the sting of a recent heartbreak? But here's a secret. The power to overcome these challenges lies in the present moment. It's easy to get lost in the worries of tomorrow or the regrets of yesterday. Yet, the only moment we truly have control over is the one happening right now. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote isn't just a fancy string of words. It's a call to action. It reminds us that while we can't always control what happens around us, we can control how we react. By focusing on the present, we can make choices that align with our values and, in doing so, find peace amidst the chaos. So, next time you find yourself overwhelmed, take a deep breath and ground yourself in the present. Feel the air around you, listen to the sounds, and remind yourself that this moment, right here and now, is where your power lies. By embracing the present, you're not just surviving the hard days, you're thriving in them. With each passing moment, you're building resilience, wisdom, and strength for whatever comes next. 2. Practice gratitude. Amidst the struggles and hustle of our daily lives, it's all too easy to focus on what we lack, the missed opportunities, the things we desire but don't have, and the challenges that seem insurmountable. Yet there's a simple practice that can shift our perspective and bring light to even the darkest days. Gratitude. By taking a moment to acknowledge the good in our lives, we not only find contentment, but also build a foundation of resilience against life's storms. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, elegantly stated, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." This wisdom reminds us that joy doesn't come from always wanting more, but from appreciating what we already have. Whether it's the warmth of a friend's smile, the comfort of a home, or the simple pleasure of a cup of tea, there's always something to be thankful for. In that cup of tea, perhaps you can taste the memories of laughter shared with loved ones, or the solace it provided on a cold, lonely night. By recognizing these moments and cherishing them, we cultivate a mindset that sees the silver lining in every cloud. Gratitude, however, isn't just about acknowledging the good times. It's also about finding grace in our struggles. Every challenge we face is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become stronger. So when the going gets tough, remember to pause and find something, no matter how small, to be grateful for. This practice won't change the situation, but it will change how you face it. And often, that makes all the difference. 3. Cultivate inner strength. Life's journey is much like sailing on vast, unpredictable seas. Some days are calm and serene, while others bring fierce storms that challenge our very core. It's during these tempests that our inner strength becomes our most valuable asset. This strength isn't about physical might. It's about the resilience of the spirit, the fortitude of the mind, and the courage of the heart. It's that quiet whisper in the midst of chaos, urging us to hold on just a little longer. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher of great renown, once proclaimed, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it, that matters." These words serve as a beacon, guiding us to understand that our reactions, shaped by our inner strength, define our journey. External events, no matter how daunting, have power over us only if we grant them that authority. By cultivating a robust inner self, we can face adversity with grace, turning obstacles into stepping stones toward personal growth. Building this inner strength requires consistent effort. It's about daily choices, small acts of courage, and embracing challenges as opportunities for growth. It's about seeking wisdom, learning from experiences, and understanding that every setback is a lesson in disguise. As we nurture this strength within, we not only equip ourselves to weather life's storms, but also to sail toward horizons we once thought unreachable. Remember, it's not the absence of challenges that defines a fulfilling life, but the ability to rise above them with unwavering inner strength. 4. Practice patience. Have you ever watched a flower bloom? It doesn't rush to unveil its beauty. It takes its time, unfolding petal by petal, revealing its splendor in its own perfect moment. Much like that flower, our lives, too, have a rhythm, a pace at which things are meant to happen. Just as the flower doesn't hasten its bloom, we too must learn the art of patience. Each time you held a loved one's hand during a silent moment, wasn't the unspoken bond felt more deeply than words could convey? Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, once mused, "Time is a river, a violent current of events, glimpsed once and already carried past us, and another follows and is gone." This profound reflection reminds us that time, with its relentless flow, carries with it both challenges and triumphs. Our impatience often stems from a desire to control this flow, to hasten the good and avoid the bad. Yet true strength lies in understanding that we cannot command the river of time, but we can choose how we navigate its waters. Patience isn't merely about waiting. It's about waiting with purpose. It's about understanding that every moment has its significance, even if it's not immediately apparent. When we practice patience, we're not just biding our time, we're actively preparing, growing, and evolving so that when the right moment arrives, we're ready to embrace it fully. So, the next time you find yourself growing impatient, remember the blooming flower and the flowing river. Understand that your moment will come, and when it does, it will be worth the wait. 5. Understand what is within your control. Life's a bit like a stormy night. Thunder rumbles, lightning strikes, and the wind howls, trying to knock you off your feet. You can't command the storm to stop, nor can you dictate the path of the lightning. But you can choose to light a candle, find shelter, and hold tight to what keeps you grounded. It's not about controlling the storm, but understanding what's within your grasp and what isn't. Epictetus, a Stoic thinker from a time long past, whispered a truth that still echoes today. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. It's a simple yet profound realization. We waste so much energy fretting over things beyond our reach, things we can't change no matter how hard we try. But what if, instead, we focused on what we can influence? Our reactions, our emotions, our decisions. These are the candles we can light against the darkness. So, when life's tempests rage, remember this: you have the power to choose. You can't halt the rain or silence the thunder, but you can decide how you'll dance in the rain or whether you'll cower from the noise. Recognizing what's within your control is liberating. It's the first step toward not just enduring life's storms, but thriving amidst them. And as the dawn breaks, you'll find that the storm wasn't the story. It was how you chose to face it. 6. Learn from adversity. Imagine, for a moment, a blacksmith forging a blade. The metal, once raw and unshaped, undergoes intense heat and forceful hammering. Yet with each strike, it becomes sharper, stronger, more refined. Similarly, life's adversities, though they may seem harsh and unyielding, have the potential to shape us, refine our character, and mold us into better versions of ourselves. Seneca, an ancient Stoic philosopher, once declared, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." These words, though centuries old, resonate with timeless truth. Challenges, setbacks, and hardships aren't mere obstacles in our path. They are opportunities. Opportunities to grow, to learn, and to discover strengths we never knew we possessed. Every trial we face is a lesson in disguise, waiting to be unraveled. Embracing adversity doesn't mean seeking out hardships or reveling in pain. It means recognizing the inherent value in our struggles. It's about shifting our perspective, from seeing challenges as burdens to viewing them as stepping stones toward wisdom and growth. So, when you find yourself amidst life's fiery trials, remember the blacksmith and his blade. Understand that with the right mindset, adversity can be the very force that shapes you into a masterpiece. 7. Seek wisdom. Wisdom isn't a gift bestowed upon a chosen few. It's a treasure, often hidden in plain sight, waiting for those with the courage and determination to seek it out. The very fact that you've journeyed this far, delving into these lessons, is a testament to your genuine pursuit of wisdom. Your commitment is commendable, and it's a clear sign that you're on the right path. The ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca once remarked, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." This isn't merely a call to gather knowledge, but an invitation to seek deeper understanding, to question, to reflect, and to grow. True wisdom isn't about knowing all the answers. It's about asking the right questions and having the humility to learn from both successes and failures. Actively seeking wisdom requires an open heart and a curious mind. It's about listening more than speaking, observing more than showing, and understanding that every person you meet, every experience you encounter, holds a lesson. Wisdom isn't a destination, it's a journey that enriches the soul, sharpens the mind, and broadens the horizon. So, as you continue on this path, remember to cherish every step, every insight, and every revelation. For in the quest for wisdom, the journey itself is the greatest reward. 8. Cultivate compassion. Have you ever paused to consider the battles others might be fighting, hidden behind their smiles or silent gazes? Our journey through life is unique, filled with its own set of challenges and joys. Yet amidst our personal struggles, there lies an opportunity, a golden thread that can weave us closer to others. The act of compassion. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What injures the hive, injures the bee." This sentiment, though simple, carries profound depth. When we extend kindness, understanding, and empathy toward others, we're not just aiding them, we're nurturing the collective human spirit. Compassion isn't just about feeling pity or sorrow for someone's misfortunes. It's about understanding their pain as if it were your own and taking steps, however small, to alleviate it. Cultivating compassion requires a conscious effort. It's about listening more than speaking, feeling more than judging, and acting more than merely observing. In a world that often feels divided, compassion serves as a bridge, connecting hearts and mending wounds. By embracing this virtue, we not only uplift others, but also find a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment in our own lives. After all, in the grand tapestry of existence, our threads are interwoven. When we choose compassion, we're choosing a richer, more harmonious design for all. These 8 Stoic lessons will fortify your resilience, serenity, and determination during challenging times. By embracing them consistently, you'll be equipped to lead a virtuous and content life amidst the chaos and unpredictability of the world. But don't just take my word for it. Put these lessons into practice and witness the transformative results. Did you know that the secret to transforming your life's biggest challenges into your greatest opportunities might have been discovered over 2,000 years ago? Imagine facing life's storms with a calm so powerful that nothing could shake your inner peace. Sounds like a superpower, right? Well, it's not just a fantasy. This ancient superpower is an age-old philosophy that's as practical today as it was in the bustling markets and marble halls of ancient Rome and Greece. Stoicism teaches us that while we can't control every aspect of our lives, we have absolute power over how we choose to react. And in today's world, where uncertainty seems to be the only certainty, these teachings could be the anchor we've all been searching for. So, whether you're dealing with stress, facing adversity, or simply looking to find more joy in the everyday, stick around. Today, we're diving deep into Stoicism, uncovering its timeless wisdom, and discovering how it can transform not just the way we think, but the way we live. 1. Focusing on what's in your control. Yeah, have you ever found yourself stuck in traffic, fuming over the delay, or scrolling through your phone only to get upset over a negative comment someone left on your post? It happens to the best of us. It's almost like our day-to-day life is filled with these little tests, challenging our mood and peace of mind at every turn. But here's a game-changing perspective from the world of Stoicism that can turn all that frustration on its head. Stoicism, this incredible philosophy that dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, hands us a powerful tool, focusing on what's in our control. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Think about that for a second. Traffic, bad weather, negative comments, these are all outside our control. We can't change them, no matter how much we wish we could. What we can change, however, is how we react to them. This idea isn't just ancient wisdom, it's backed by modern psychology too. Carl Jung, a giant in the field of psychology, famously stated, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." This aligns perfectly with this practice. It's about recognizing that the only real power we have is over our own reactions, thoughts, and actions. Let's break it down a bit. Say you're in that traffic jam, late for an important meeting. You can spend that time stewing in anger, honking your horn, and stressing out, which, let's be honest, won't make the cars ahead move any faster. Or you can take a deep breath, accept the situation, and maybe use the time to listen to a podcast, an audiobook, or simply enjoy some music. The traffic hasn't changed, but your response to it has. And with that shift, your stress levels drop, and your day looks a bit brighter. This principle of focusing on what you can control extends far beyond just dealing with traffic or weather. It applies to our personal goals, our reactions to others, and our approach to obstacles in life. As Marcus Aurelius, another Stoic heavyweight, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So, next time you find yourself getting worked up over something outside your control, remember these wise words from our friends. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, let it go. Focus on your reaction, your mindset, and your actions. This simple shift can have a profound impact on your stress levels and overall happiness. It's not always easy, but it's worth practicing every day. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. And as we learn to focus more on what's in our control, we'll find ourselves not just surviving life's challenges, but thriving in spite of them. 2. Embracing obstacles as opportunities. Stoicism teaches us the art of embracing obstacles as opportunities. It sounds counterintuitive, right? Most of us are programmed to view obstacles as just that, barriers to our success and happiness. But Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus flip this narrative on its head. They tell us, when life throws you a curveball, instead of asking, "Why me?" ask, "What can I learn?" This is a game changer. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, penned in his personal writings, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." What he means here is that every obstacle, no matter how daunting, not only tests our resilience, but also teaches us valuable lessons. It's about finding the silver lining in tough situations and using it to fuel our growth. This perspective isn't just ancient philosophy, it's backed by modern thinkers too. The famous psychologist Carl Jung said, "What you resist persists." By fighting against obstacles, we give them more power over us. But by accepting and learning from them, we can overcome them. This mindset is about transforming challenges into stepping stones towards becoming stronger and wiser. Let's make it practical. Say you're facing rejection from job applications. It's easy to fall into a spiral of self-pity and doubt. But what if you viewed each rejection as feedback? Maybe there's a skill you need to improve, or a new strategy for your job search. That shift in perspective can turn a series of rejections into a path for professional development. Another example is personal conflicts. They're uncomfortable and stressful, but they also offer a chance to practice patience, empathy, and communication skills. Every disagreement is an opportunity to understand different viewpoints and refine our conflict resolution abilities. The essence of embracing obstacles as opportunities lies in asking ourselves, what can this situation teach me? Instead of being passive victims of circumstance, we become active learners and problem solvers. This doesn't mean that facing obstacles becomes easy, but it does mean that we approach them with a mindset geared toward growth and learning. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the heart of Stoicism. It's about seeing beyond the immediate pain or frustration of an obstacle and finding the lessons and opportunities it presents. So, when you're faced with a challenge, big or small, try to pause and reframe it. Ask yourself what you can learn from the situation and how it can make you stronger and wiser. Remember, obstacles aren't just hurdles to overcome, they're opportunities to grow. By adopting this mindset, we can navigate life's ups and downs with more grace, resilience, and wisdom. 3. Living in the present moment. It's something we hear about all the time, right? Live in the now. But what does that really mean? And why is it so important? Living in the present moment is about fully embracing and experiencing where you are at this very second, not letting your mind wander off to the worries of tomorrow or the regrets of yesterday. It's about realizing that life, with all its beauty, challenges, and surprises, happens in the now. This concept isn't new. It's been a cornerstone of philosophy, echoed by great minds like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, and reiterated by modern psychologists and thinkers. Let's start with the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment." He understood that the power of living in the present lies in its ability to ground us, to clear our minds of distractions, and to allow us to appreciate the richness of life as it unfolds. But why is it so hard to stay present? Our minds are often cluttered with thoughts, worries about what's next, or replaying things that have already happened. This constant mental noise pulls us away from the beauty and potential of the here and now. As the famous psychologist Carl Jung put it, the least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Living in the present moment gives meaning to the small, everyday experiences, enriching our lives beyond measure. Aristotle talked about the importance of being mindful of the present to achieve eudaimonia, or a state of being happy, healthy, and prosperous. He believed that by focusing on the here and now, we could live a virtuous life, making the most of our human experience. So, how can we practice living in the present? It starts with mindfulness. The art of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you eat, savor each bite. When you walk, notice the feeling of the ground under your feet. Listen actively when someone is speaking to you, instead of planning what you're going to say next. These simple acts of mindfulness bring us back to the present, making our lives richer and more meaningful. Seneca offered this wisdom. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. He understood that anxiety about what's to come or what has been only serves to diminish our happiness in the now. Living in the present isn't about ignoring the future or forgetting the past. It's about finding a balance where we learn from our past and plan for our future, without letting those activities consume our present. It's in this balance that we find peace and contentment. Remember, Every moment is an opportunity to reset and refocus on the now. It's in the present that we live, love, and make memories. So, let's make a conscious effort to be more present in our lives. Let's cherish the now, for this moment, right here, is where life truly happens. 4. Building self-discipline. I know the word self-discipline might bring to mind images of rigid schedules and a life devoid of fun, but let's reshape that picture together. Self-discipline is not about restricting your life. It's about empowering yourself to make choices that align with your deepest values and long-term aspirations. It's choosing what's right for you, not what's easy in the moment. At its core, building self-discipline is about mastery over ourselves. It's about saying yes to things that serve us and no to things that don't, even when it's tough. Think about it, whether it's sticking to a workout routine, saving money instead of impulse buying, or turning off Netflix to focus on a project. These choices might not deliver instant gratification, but they pave the way for long-term satisfaction and success. Stoic philosophy has a lot to say about self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful statement highlights the essence of self-discipline. It's about controlling our impulses, emotions, and actions despite the external temptations and distractions that life throws our way. Seneca offers wisdom on the subject too. He advises us to be steadfast and control our desires, rather than being controlled by them. He understood that true freedom comes from within, from our ability to govern ourselves and our appetites. But why is self-discipline so critical? Aristotle, the ancient Greek philosopher, sheds light on this. He believed that we achieve excellence and virtue through habit. By practicing self-discipline, we cultivate habits that lead us toward our best selves. It's not about occasional acts of willpower, but about consistently making choices that reflect our values and goals. Building self-discipline also ties into modern psychological understanding. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our personality to live fully. This integration requires self-discipline, as we must navigate the desires of different parts of our psyche, choosing paths that contribute to our overall well-being and growth. So, how can we build self-discipline in our daily lives? Start small. Pick one area you want to improve, whether it's your diet, exercise routine, or spending habits. Set clear, achievable goals and take it one day at a time. Remember, every time you make a choice that aligns with your goals, you're building the muscle of self-discipline. Epictetus reminds us, no great thing is created suddenly. Self-discipline is built through small, consistent actions. It's about progress, not perfection. Every day presents new opportunities to practice self-discipline, to choose actions that move us closer to who we want to be. Building self-discipline is a journey. It's about finding balance between what we want now and what we want most. It's about making choices that might be hard in the moment, but will bring us closer to our goals, happiness, and peace in the long run. No, let's commit to this journey together, supporting one another and choosing what's right, not what's easy. Remember, in the realm of self-discipline lies the path to achieving our dreams and living in the life we truly love. 5. Developing emotional resilience. When life throws its curveballs, we all experience a whirlwind of emotions. Feeling angry, sad, or frustrated is a natural part of being human. But here's the kicker. It's not just about the emotions we feel. It's about how we handle them. That's where the magic of emotional resilience comes in. Emotional resilience is like this superpower that allows us to navigate through life's storms with grace and come out stronger on the other side. It's about acknowledging our emotions, understanding them, and then taking positive steps to move forward rather than being swept away by the tide of our feelings. The Stoics had a lot to say about this. Marcus Aurelius, for example, reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This profound insight touches the essence of emotional resilience. It's about recognizing that while we might not have control over what happens to us, we have control over how we respond. Our emotions don't have to control our actions. Seneca offers wisdom on facing adversity without losing our composure. He teaches that life's hardships are tests of our character and resilience. By facing our feelings with understanding and patience, we can grow wiser and more robust. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. But how do we develop this emotional resilience? It starts with self-awareness. Being mindful of our emotions and reactions helps us understand ourselves better. It's okay to feel what we're feeling, but instead of reacting impulsively, we can choose to respond in a way that aligns with our values and long-term well-being. Aristotle spoke about the golden mean, finding the balance between excess and deficiency. This concept applies beautifully to emotional resilience. It's about finding a balanced response to our emotions, not suppressing them or letting them overpower us. Carl Jung, a pioneer in psychology, emphasized the importance of integrating all aspects of our psyche to achieve wholeness. Part of this process involves confronting our emotions, understanding them, and learning from them. This is at the heart of developing emotional resilience. So, what can you do when you're in the grip of strong emotions? First, give yourself permission to feel. Acknowledge your emotions without judgment. Then, take a step back and try to understand what triggered these feelings. This reflection can provide valuable insights into your emotional patterns and triggers. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a powerful reminder that our reactions to our emotions can shape our experiences. Instead of being reactive, we can choose to respond in a way that is constructive and healing. Developing emotional resilience is a journey. It involves practicing mindfulness, self-reflection, and patience. It's about building a toolkit of coping strategies, like journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or practicing relaxation techniques. Most importantly, it's about treating yourself with kindness and compassion as you navigate through your emotions. Emotional resilience is not about never feeling negative emotions. It's about learning to ride the waves of those emotions with grace and coming out on the other side stronger and more self-aware. By developing emotional resilience, we empower ourselves to face life's challenges with courage and poise. Let's embrace this journey together, supporting each other and becoming more emotionally resilient, and ultimately living a more fulfilling life. 6. Memento mori. Remember, you will pass away. The Stoics used this concept not to create fear, but to inspire a deeper appreciation for every moment. They believed that by keeping the inevitability of death in mind, we would live more fully, consciously, and with gratitude for the present. Marcus Aurelius in his meditations often reflected on the transience of life, encouraging us to live in a way that's true to our values and to make the most of the time we're given. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think, he wrote. This isn't about being morose. It's a call to action, a reminder to focus on what truly matters, to let go of petty concerns, and to live with purpose and integrity. Seneca, too, spoke about the shortness of life, urging us not to waste time on trivialities, but to focus on creating a meaningful existence. He believed that being mindful of death encourages us to live more wisely and to cherish our relationships and experiences. Epictetus emphasized the importance of focusing on the present and making the best use of our time. By remembering that we won't live forever, we're more likely to live ethically and to appreciate the beauty and richness of life. How can we incorporate memento mori into our own lives without it feeling like a dark cloud over our heads? It starts with shifting our perspective. Instead of seeing the awareness of death as something fearful, we can view it as a powerful motivator to live our lives to the fullest. It's about embracing the present, not postponing our dreams or happiness for some undefined future that's not guaranteed. Think about the things you've been putting off. Maybe it's pursuing a passion, reconnecting with loved ones, or simply taking time to appreciate the small joys of everyday life. Memento mori reminds us not to take our time for granted. It encourages us to live more authentically, to say what we mean, to love openly, and to be present in our lives. This concept also teaches us to appreciate the impermanence of life, which in turn deepens our gratitude for the moments we have. When we remember that our time is limited, we're more likely to cherish our experiences, to live more mindfully, and to express our gratitude for the people and moments that enrich our lives. So, let's use memento mori, not as a source of fear, but as a catalyst for growth, gratitude, and a deeper appreciation of life. Let it remind us to make choices that align with our deepest values, to cherish our relationships, and to savor the beauty of the present moment. Remembering that we will die one day encourages us to live more fully today. In embracing memento mori, we find a powerful reminder to live, not in fear of death, but in celebration of life. Let's make every moment count, not because we're afraid of its end, but because we're in love with life itself. Let's live in a way that, when our time does come, we can look back with no regrets, knowing we lived fully, loved deeply, and appreciated the incredible journey that life is. 7. Practicing gratitude. It's fascinating how such a simple concept can profoundly impact our lives. Gratitude is about shifting our focus to what we have, rather than dwelling on what we're missing. This practice can be a real game changer, especially on those days that feel like an uphill battle. The Stoics, wise as they were, had a lot to say about gratitude. They believed that happiness doesn't come from having more, but from appreciating what we already have. Marcus Aurelius often wrote about the importance of focusing on the present and finding joy in the simple things. He said, "When you will rise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This is gratitude in its purest form, recognizing the value of life itself and the many gifts it offers us each day. Seneca talked about how our desires can lead us astray, always chasing after more and never finding true satisfaction. He suggested that by focusing on what we have and understanding that the best things in life are already within our grasp, we can find real contentment. Epictetus, known for his followers to appreciate their current circumstances, whatever they might be, he believed that by accepting and finding value in our present situation, we could live a more fulfilled life. But how do we practice gratitude, especially when life throws curveballs our way? It starts with making it a daily habit. Each morning or evening, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee, a conversation with a friend, or the beauty of a sunset. This practice helps rewire our brains to focus on the positive boosting our mood and overall outlook on life. Gratitude also means embracing challenges and finding lessons within them. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective helps us appreciate our experiences, both good and bad, as valuable steps on our journey. Moreover, practicing gratitude helps us build stronger connections with others. By expressing appreciation for the people in our lives, we not only brighten their day, but also strengthen our own resilience. A simple thank you can go a long way in showing someone that they're valued and loved. Aristotle spoke about the importance of recognizing the good in our lives and striving for a virtuous life. He believed that gratitude was key to achieving eudaimonia, or true happiness, as it allows us to appreciate the goodness around us and within ourselves. Even modern psychology supports the benefits of gratitude. Studies show that people who practice gratitude regularly experience less anxiety, sleep better, and have a more positive outlook on life. As Carl Jung said, the word happiness would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. By acknowledging and being grateful for the full spectrum of our experiences, we find a deeper, more authentic form of happiness. So let's make gratitude a cornerstone of our daily lives. Let's celebrate the small victories, cherish the moments of connection, and find joy in the simple pleasures. By focusing on what we have, not on what we're missing, we can cultivate a sense of abundance and happiness that shines from within. Remember, it's not happiness that brings us gratitude, it's gratitude that brings us happiness. Let's fill our glasses half full, raise them high, and toast to the beauty of gratitude in our lives. Cheers to finding the silver lining, even on the cloudiest of days. 8. Focusing on personal excellence. The Stoics had a profound understanding of personal excellence. They believed that excellence, or virtue, is the sole good, and that everything we do should aim toward living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, is a prime example of someone who strived for personal excellence. He once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This simple yet powerful statement encapsulates the essence of personal excellence. It's about embodying the values we admire and striving to live by them every day. Seneca emphasized the importance of self-improvement and continuous learning. He advocated for a life lived in accordance with nature and reason, suggesting that true excellence comes from within and is reflected in our actions and choices. Epictetus highlighted the role of personal responsibility in achieving excellence. He taught that our reactions, emotions, and will are within our control, and mastering them is key to living a life of virtue. But what does focusing on personal excellence look like in our day-to-day lives? It starts with setting personal standards based on our values and aspirations, not on societal expectations or the achievements of others. It's about knowing who we are, understanding our strengths and weaknesses, and taking consistent steps toward improvement. Personal excellence is also about resilience. It's about how we respond to setbacks and failures, not just our successes. As Aristotle said, excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. This means embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow, rather than seeing them as obstacles. Moreover, focusing on personal excellence involves cultivating a growth mindset, a concept championed by modern psychology. It's the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset encourages us to embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and see effort as a path to mastery. Personal excellence also means living authentically. It's about being true to ourselves and our values, even when it's not easy. It's about making choices that reflect who we are and who we want to be, and taking pride in our journey, including both the struggles and the triumphs. Practicing gratitude, as we discussed earlier, ties into personal excellence too. By appreciating what we have and where we are on our journey, we foster a positive outlook that supports our growth and well-being. So let's commit to focusing on personal excellence. Let's set our own standards, embrace our unique paths, and take pride in our progress. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about being proud of who we are and how we live. It's about celebrating our efforts, learning from our experiences, and always striving to be the best versions of ourselves. Together, let's make personal excellence not just a goal, but a way of life. 9. Not caring what others think. In a world saturated with social media, where likes, follows, and comments often dictate self-worth, it's easy to fall into the trap of valuing ourselves through the lens of others' opinions. But here's a liberating truth. Your worth isn't based on external validation. It's about being true to yourself, embracing your authenticity, and living in alignment with your values. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers we often turn to for timeless wisdom, had much to say about this. They taught that our inner peace and freedom come from focusing on what's within our control, our actions, our thoughts, and our integrity, not the ever-changing opinions of others. Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinion of himself than on the opinions of others." This striking observation highlights a paradox many of us live with, valuing others' judgments over our own self-assessment. Seneca echoed this sentiment by emphasizing the importance of living a life true to oneself, not one shaped by the expectations or approval of others. He believed that true contentment comes from within, from living a life that aligns with our principles and values. Epictetus taught that worrying about others' opinions is outside our control and therefore not worth our energy. He encouraged focusing instead on our own actions and on living virtuously, as that's where our true power lies. So, how can we start caring less about what others think and more about being true to ourselves? First, understand that you are the author of your life story. You have the power to define your worth, not society, not your social media followers, nor the people around you. Ground your self-esteem in who you are, the values you stand for, the kindness you spread, and the effort you put into being your best self. Second, practice self-reflection. Ask yourself, whose life am I living? Am I making choices based on my desires, or am I trying to fit into someone else's mold? Reflecting on these questions can help realign your actions with your true self. Third, embrace vulnerability. Being true to yourself means being open about your flaws and all, understanding that we are reflections of our progress, making mistakes and learning from them. This authenticity attracts the right people into your life, those who appreciate the real you. Moreover, remember the words of Aristotle, who spoke about the golden mean, finding balance in life. Applying this to our concern for others' opinions means finding a healthy balance between considering constructive feedback and maintaining our autonomy and self-worth. Incorporating a Stoic mindset into our lives means understanding that our worth is determined by our virtues, our actions, and our commitment to living a meaningful life, not by external accolades or approval. It's about building a strong inner fortress that remains unshaken by the fleeting opinions of others. Let's commit to valuing ourselves for who we truly are, not for the likes, follows, or approval we receive. Let's be courageous in our authenticity, living lives that resonate with our deepest truths. Remember, your worth is inherent and unique. By being true to yourself, you shine your light in the most genuine way possible. Let's not just navigate life, but thrive in it, with the confidence that comes from knowing we are living authentically, aligned with our values, and true to ourselves. 10. Accepting change. Here's the thing, accepting change is not just necessary, it's vital for our growth and happiness. The reality is, the only constant in life is change. Learning to go with the flow and embrace life's inevitable shifts makes navigating them less scary and more of an adventure. The Stoics had an incredibly healthy perspective on change. They saw it as a natural part of the universe's rhythm. Marcus Aurelius said, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" This profound acceptance of change as part of life's fabric helps us understand that each change, whether we perceive it as good or bad, has its place in our story. Seneca taught that becoming too attached to our current circumstances can lead to disappointment because inevitably those circumstances will change. He advised us to be flexible and to understand that change is not just a part of life, but a necessary component of our personal development and happiness. Epictetus encouraged us to distinguish between what we can control and what we can't. While we can't control our attitudes towards them, this mindset is incredibly empowering when it comes to dealing with change. It's about focusing on our responses, finding opportunities for growth within the change, and moving forward with resilience. But how can we become more accepting of change? First, by acknowledging that change is inevitable. It's the natural order of things. Everything around us is in a constant state of flux. Seasons change, people come and go, and our very selves are renewing themselves as we speak. Embracing change means embracing life itself. Second, by practicing mindfulness, being present in the moment allows us to appreciate our current experiences without clinging to them. This awareness creates space for acceptance when those experiences inevitably evolve or come to an end. Third, by seeking the lessons in change. Every shift in our lives, no matter how challenging, comes with opportunities to learn and grow. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in perspective can turn the challenges of change into stepping stones for personal development. Aristotle spoke about the importance of pursuing a virtuous life as the key to happiness. A part of virtue is adaptability, the ability to navigate life's changes with grace and wisdom. It's about finding balance and harmony within the flux of life. Modern psychology supports this Stoic approach to change. Viewing change as an opportunity rather than a threat can significantly reduce stress and anxiety levels. It enhances our resilience, making us better equipped to handle whatever life throws our way. Let's remind ourselves that change is not just something to endure, but to welcome as a natural, enriching part of our journey. By accepting change, we open ourselves to new experiences, growth, and the beautiful unfolding of our unique paths in life. Remember, going with the flow isn't about passivity. It's about actively engaging with life in its full dynamic complexity. Let's navigate the currents of change with courage, grace, and a heart open to the endless possibilities that change brings. 11. Practicing compassion and empathy. Despite our differences, we are all in this together, navigating the complex journey of life. By fostering an understanding and caring attitude toward others, we contribute to making the world a kinder, more loving place. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who continue to enlighten us with their timeless wisdom, placed great importance on the virtues of compassion and empathy. They believed in the interconnectedness of all humans and taught that kindness and understanding toward others are essential aspects of living a virtuous life. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, reminded us that human beings are social creatures by nature, meant to live in harmony and cooperation with one another. He said, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." This beautifully illustrates the idea that our well-being is intrinsically linked to the well-being of others. Seneca emphasized the importance of treating others with kindness and generosity. He argued that compassion is a natural human instinct, and that by helping others, we also help ourselves. In his writings, Seneca encourages us to extend our empathy, even to those who have wronged us, understanding that they too are acting out of their own struggles and limitations. Epictetus taught that we should strive to understand others' perspectives, recognizing that everyone has their reasons for their actions. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior, but rather approaching others with a mindset of empathy, seeking to understand their experiences and viewpoints. But how can we practice compassion and empathy in our daily lives? It starts with listening, truly listening, to the stories, experiences, and feelings of those around us. It's about putting ourselves in their shoes, imagining their struggles, their joys, their fears, and their hopes. This act of understanding can bridge the gap between us, fostering a sense of connection and shared humanity. Another way to cultivate compassion and empathy is through acts of kindness, no matter how small. A smile, a kind word, a listening ear, these can all make a significant difference in someone's day. By being present and attentive to others, we signal that they matter, that their feelings and experiences are valid and important. Practicing compassion and empathy also means being there for others in times of need, offering support and understanding without judgment. It's about recognizing the value and dignity of every person, regardless of our differences. The ancient philosopher Aristotle spoke about the importance of friendship and the role of empathy in building strong, meaningful relationships. He believed that true friends not only share in each other's joys, but also in their sorrows, supporting each other with empathy and understanding. Modern psychology supports the Stoic emphasis on compassion and empathy, showing that these virtues not only enhance our relationships, but also our own emotional well-being. By caring for others, we foster a sense of belonging, purpose, and happiness in our own lives. Let's remind ourselves that behind every face is a story. Behind every action is a reason. By understanding and caring for each other, we make the world a kinder, gentler place. In doing so, we not only enrich the lives of those around us, but also find deeper fulfillment and joy in our own lives. Together, let's spread kindness like confetti, creating ripples of compassion that transform the world, one act of empathy at a time. 12. Reflecting and reviewing regularly. This is about taking a pause, a real, meaningful pause, to look back on our actions, our thoughts, and the paths we've tread. It's about growth, introspection, and aligning our lives with our deepest values. In a world that's always rushing forward, this practice is our anchor, ensuring we're not just being swept away, but are sailing in the direction that's true to us. The Stoics, with their profound insights into human nature, placed immense value on the practice of reflection. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, which we now treasure as meditations, offered a model of this practice. He didn't just rule an empire, he took the time to examine his life, his decisions, and his moral compass through writing. He saw this reflection as essential to living a life of virtue and purpose. "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts," he wrote, reminding us that our internal dialogue shapes our external reality. Seneca recommended regular self-assessment as a way to foster self-improvement and wisdom. He likened life to a play, suggesting that we periodically review our roles and performances. Are we acting in harmony with the character we wish to embody, Are our actions reflective of the script we value? The script of our lives? Epictetus encouraged his students to end each day with a review of their actions and attitudes. This wasn't about self-criticism, but about self-awareness and growth. He urged us to ask ourselves, what did I do well? What did I do wrong? What duties were left undone? Through such questions, we can steer our lives more consciously, making adjustments that bring us closer to our ideals. But how do we incorporate this practice of reflection and review into our modern lives? First, by making it a habit. Dedicate a few minutes each day, perhaps before bedtime, to reflect on your day. What were your victories? Where did you face challenges, and how did you respond? This practice can start as a mental exercise, but writing it down can enhance its benefits, giving you a tangible record of your journey. Second, use reflection as a tool for gratitude. In reviewing your day, also take note of the moments, no matter how small, that brought you joy or gratitude. This balances our natural tendency to focus on the negative, cultivating a more positive outlook on life. Third, approach this practice with kindness and compassion toward yourself. Reflection is not about berating yourself for mistakes, but about recognizing them as opportunities for learning and growth. Be as understanding and supportive to yourself as you would be to a dear friend. Aristotle spoke about the importance of living a reflective life. He believed that true wisdom comes from understanding ourselves, our actions, and our place in the world. This reflection is the essence of living an examined life, one that's in accordance with virtue and excellence. In modern psychology, the benefits of regular reflection are well documented, showing improvements in mental health, clarity of purpose, and personal growth. Reflecting on our experiences helps us process emotions, learn from our actions, and make more informed decisions moving forward. Let's commit to this practice of reflecting and reviewing regularly. Let it be our guidepost, ensuring that we are not just passively experiencing life, but actively shaping it according to our values. By taking the time to look back, we gain the insight needed to move forward more aligned, more aware, and more in tune with the essence of who we are and who we aspire to be. Let's cherish this journey of introspection, for it is in knowing ourselves that we find the path to true fulfillment and joy. Each of these lessons from Stoicism isn't just ancient wisdom. They are life hacks that can help us deal with stress, make better decisions, and find peace in chaos. Remember, it's not the challenges along the way that define us, but the strength we find in facing them, the wisdom we gather, and the compassion we share. Each step, each reflection, each act of kindness is a brushstroke in the masterpiece that is your life.